Boom. We are live with Frank. Greetings, Frank. An honor once again to be here with you to do the review of PT's book. It's a blessing.
Yes.
I have no word to truly describe my emotion right now. It's probably very galactic kind of emotion.
Nice.
So anyway, we're gonna go with a refusal. I think that's where we're at with our review. Again, we're not here to preach anything or tell anyone what to do with their life. We're just exchanging, me and Frank, on reality of the words and our collective reality, also what's happening with us and why are we so confused. And we're just trying to put some light on the darkness.
Yes.
Yeah, put some light on the darkness. I like this. So, Frank, I'll let you start with a refusal.
All right. A refusal. Most people refuse to consider the future, short-term or long-term or full-term. But future always still arrives and becomes the present. Always an unpleasant present when one has not had any consideration for it.
En français, c'est un refus. La plupart des gens refusent de considérer le futur, court terme ou long terme, ou plein terme. Mais le futur vient toujours et devient le présent. Toujours un désagréable présent quand on n'y a porté aucune considération. I think that's what's happening with us. Is we think of the future, but we don't have consideration for the future. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Not that we're not in thoughts in the future and plan stuff, but
Right.
we have no really. First of all, we don't put really the proper value on time also. So it's hard because when you talk about future, past, present, we're talking about the concept of time, if you can say. To me, we're always in the present. That's all there is the present moment. Like past doesn't exist. Future, it doesn't exist. It's not here.
Right.
All that is here. It's right now.
Yes.
That's all that we can access. We can tap into. We can use our frequency to navigate to. But the future, I cannot, all I can have is consideration for the future and make sure that in the present, I take the right action so my future is more bright, more blessing come to me, more synchronicity, because more magic. You want to create magic in your life. You want to create synchronicity. You want everything to fall in place at the right time, at the right place. You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do anything. That's what I have realized. And you can do magic. And the magic that you can do is transform your life into being absent to being present. That's literally what it is. It's not complicated. It's just being present with life and observe, because when we're absent, we're not. And when we're absent, we are mind control also. When you're present, you cannot be mind control in the present because you're not in fear, you're not in anxiety, you're in the present moment, like a dog, like a cow, like a horse, like an animal that live in the present. So we just have to, I think, for me, to have more consideration for the future is to be more present in the present also. That's all I see.
Agreed.
So, Frank, give me your opinion on the... I said a lot. I said it all pretty much, but I'm sure you can teach me something about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we see, the state of the world is a result of people refusing to actually consider, because I don't think that it's, I think that it is true that people want good things for themselves. That is a very natural impulse. P talks about that. Most natural impulse is to want good for yourself, and not, nobody wants pain. Nobody wants depression, anger, like anxiety, like all those things that everybody it's not pleasant to experience those things. And when you do, you're like, I want this to stop. I want to be able to get out of that feeling. And how do you get to those places? Because one of the things that P is really good at is helping us to connect the dots between action and consequence, helping us to have a realization of like, why is my life the way that it is? Whether it's good or bad in certain times, because there are little bits, like P says, your past, the things that you've done in your past is what creates your present. And what creates your future is the things that you do now, So no matter what has happened in the past in your life, what experiences you've gone through, what type of mistakes or successful decisions that you've made, no matter what has occurred in the past, you can always choose to do things that are going to benefit you for the present and for the future with that present action. That's what P talks about in a later P log. Action is paramount. That's like a tenet. The power of now, it is just so potent and it is so full of potential, right? Is if we can, that's another thing, right? The carpe diem, seize the day, right? So like actually take conscious control, and actually, like what P is saying here, implement some consideration. That's a word that we're going to be reviewing again and again the next few P logs. And it's cool how P connects action, consequence, in this sequential type of way. And he says people refuse to consider the future short term, right, or long term. So, but future always still arrives and becomes the present. I love this ending. Always an unpleasant present when one has not had any consideration for it. So that's like it's very cool what P shares, and it's very simple. It's very applicable. It's a very practical approach to just starting to actually do simple things that are in your control, right? We can do things that are going to be centering ourselves. Like all these centering practices are really like ways that we can just dial in, like our consciousness. They're practices with the body that we can help kind of just tune in, because it's not unnatural for us to kind of like for a machine to need some repair or to need kind of a little tune-up. This is like your car. You take it to the shop every 3,000 miles to get an oil change or whatever, right? So as we are using our machine, our body throughout the day, it might need a little tune-up. You might be driving on some roads that are a little bit bumpy or whatever, and so you start to take some time, do some centering, go outside and touch your feet on the earth, or you can take some time and just repeat some affirmations that are going to help you stay focused and help you stay centered in and what is the reality, and you're not going to be so susceptible to get sucked into all of the impulsive decisions that society, the media, all the things are really kind of influencing us to just act without considering. But what we need to do is instead of having a refusal to consider, we need to make the choice to start doing some things that are going to help us be like, no, I want well-being and I want good for myself, and there's a way that I can actually get there practically. So
yeah, and if we have consideration for the future, we're not gonna want to fall in line so much with the other in front, like you were saying, like following others and stuff. So you start doing your own thinking, your own stuff, your own and stop listening to other voices and letting go of those voices in your head also, to be able to see a bright future. Because if you listen to voices in your head, you're gonna see a future, but very often it's dark,
right,
and you don't know. that it's
Yes.
hard. So what we're saying is there's a much, much brighter future for you ahead if you bring a little consideration to the present moment.
Yes.
Consideration. Go with this one now.
Here we go. Consideration. Consideration, a term now relegated to how one is with others. LotusOcean says consideration is a term which has to be applied first to one's own self. Considering one's own whole, full future, including death and cycle of birth and death, considering one's own whole future fully being the only way to get out of hell and unpleasantness.
Yeah. La considération, un terme maintenant relégué à comment on traite les autres. Intéressant. LotusOcean déclare que la considération est un terme qui doit être appliqué à soi avant tout. Considérer son propre futur dans son entièreté, incluant la mort et cycle de vie et de mort, pleinement est le seul moyen qui mène à la sortie de tout enfer et de toute déplaisance. Yes, of course. If you... La considération est un terme... Because we think having... and that's what also they program into us to have consideration for others. We seen it 2 years ago. Or I don't know how long it's been, that circus that happened all over. So they had programmed into our mind that we had to have consideration for others, not us.
Right.
Even there. So
Yeah.
I didn't start trouble here. It was already started. I said it.
Yeah.
And they started it. Just pointing where's the problem here and the trouble and the stuff. And that's what it is. They want us to have consideration, but for everything but ourselves.
But the self, right? Mm-hmm.
They want you to have consideration for yourself, but as long as you hurt yourself, they're going to love you. Keep hurting yourself. They will love you.
That puts you on a pedestal then, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with all the wicked.
For
sure. So, yeah. So, definitely, if you start having consideration for yourself, if you apply that word to yourself, it's game changer. Because now you're not so much focused on being a people pleaser or being liked, because all this has to do with the like me syndrome also.
Right.
Like the reason why you want to have so much consideration for the well-being of others and shit, and you forget yourself completely in the process. You don't even think of yourself, but others. I gotta think of others. Like what is that? Think of yourself, Lou. Consider yourself in the equation, and everyone around will pick up the vibe. It's all a matter of vibration. Someone that is in a high vibrational state, you can feel that stuff. You can feel them coming a mile away.
Yes.
I'm on the bike path with my bike. They feel me coming. The high vibe is coming because I play reggae music on my bike and everything. So I'm a bit, yeah. Anyway, never mind the biking. Yeah, consider yourself in the equation. Of course, it's key to changing a lot of shit in your life that's happening. Déplaisance. The shit is the bad stuff, the unwanted stuff that you want. That's it.
Right.
De toute déplaisance, sortir de tout enfer et de toute déplaisance. That's it. So, Frank, give me your consideration about consideration.
Yes. So yeah, this is they put it to us as it's like manners and things, right? Being considerate of others, right? That's how we would generally relate to that term. But yes, consideration for yourself, for your own well-being, that has to be applied first, and then you can actually be considerate to others too. Because if you're not considerate to yourself, then actually, how are you considerate to others? Because you have to take into account your own well-being first before you can help anyone else. You have to be of help to your own self, right? You have to do positive actions and positive life, because then if you don't, then you're just going to be a burden to others. You're going to need so much. You're just going to be like a leech, just needing everything from everyone else, because you can't take care of yourself. So so how do we start to implement real care and consideration? And that is by just doing the proper actions, feeding ourselves properly, speaking the right kind of things, not engaging in the nonsense, trying to become more natural, and trying to cultivate a respect for the earth and appreciation for natural things that the divine has put here, because we didn't do any of this. We get to experience the beauty and this the magic of this creation. And so it really does, in a natural way, starts to develop that appreciation.
And I think, Frank, really, if you want to know, if someone look for the secret of having magic in this world, the secret to create or to bring blessing to you or to manifest anything you want in your life, is really one word. And once we grab this not concept, this idea behind the word gratitude,
Yeah.
everything. And gratitude to everything. If you can be grateful for life, life would be grateful to you, like as within, so without. But if you are not grateful,
Right.
why would life be grateful to you?
Yeah.
The game changed the moment you show more gratefulness. Gratefulness
Right.
to your parents, gratefulness to the earth, gratefulness to everything that surrounds you. Be grateful for everything. Give thanks for life. Give thanks for the rain that's falling. Give thanks for the thunder, the lightning, the breeze, the little dust flying in the air, the leaf blowing in the wind. Give
Right.
thanks for everything, because that's what it is. It's about gratitude.
Right.
I think I have found the secret. No, I didn't find it. It's always been there. It's always been the same thing for eons on earth. It's
Right.
gratitude. That's all
Yes.
it is.
Yeah, and you have to. It's a matter.
Learn to be grateful.
It's a matter of perspective, right? Because what like thwarts or what sabotages that gratitude attitude is having the concept that you're a victim. Life did this to me or whatever, No, you did it to yourself, right? So you have to take responsibility. You have to take accountability for, okay, if I want something good for myself, I have to work for it, And then that really, you get to see life in a totally different way. And then so much more gratitude can be given to something that you worked for, rather than something that you're just like being spoiled. You're just given everything in your life, right? Then how can you really appreciate it if you didn't work for it, Because it's a natural thing to, and this life on earth requires a certain amount of work, just to maintain ourselves, maintain the body, to maintain our homes or anything like that. It really does. It takes work, and we have to rise above that that laziness and the things where we don't want to take responsibility. We don't want to be, but that it's required. You really have to. There's no way around it. So once you can accept that,
Yes, unless you want to keep the state that you're in, and like, okay.
right?
But if you want to evolve, there's no other way for sure
Yes.
than to.
And it's really a divine equation and algorithm for us to be able to better ourselves.
Yeah.
You have to take the actions, take the steps. That means you're putting in the work, and you can't just be spoon fed the whole time. What is that going to do for you? You have to apply, learn and apply.
The footwork is the truth.
Yes, because it builds experience, it builds perspective, in which you can actually start to speak from, oh yeah, this is how it works, because I've done it and I saw it is that way, And so,
It's like
yeah.
once you start experiencing synchronicity in your life, you're like, whoa, stuff start to work. It is working. So
Hmm.
you experience more synchronicity, and then you bring more blessing, more people, more good stuff to your life. Like I told you the story of the farmer that happened to me. Like
Yes. Right.
when you're in a high vibrational state, everyone will come. You attract everyone. Everyone who is friendly with you, and that's what happened to me. Every time I'm out, there's someone stopping me, an old man telling me a story, or like always something. And
Right.
the other day, that's it. I met a farmer, and he gave me access to his field. Jay, I give thanks for Jay if he listens to that. I don't think
Right.
so. I haven't told him, but if he ever get across this video, I give thanks a lot, and that's the being grateful. That's a gratitude attitude that I have, and if you keep that attitude, great stuff will come to you. Then. Of course, there's work to do. I have to go get it with my bike on the backpack.
Sure.
It's not easy,
Right.
but I'm grateful. I do it. I sweat a bit, okay, but I lose weight also, so everything is good.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So so all this great attitude will bring stuff. That's where I want to go with that.
Yeah.
If you keep a good, grateful attitude towards life, towards everything that surrounds you, and it's not to be a like perfect. It is about to be a perfect coherence. I get it, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not here saying I have attained perfect coherency.
Right. It's a journey.
No, it's a journey. I'm going towards that, but who knows if I'll ever get that? Maybe get there. Maybe who knows? But to me, it's a long, long road to be perfectly coherent as a human being because
Yeah.
like I have one again. You see, there's two sides again. I have the perfect fractal, but I don't have the perfect coherence. So you see, there
Right.
we have one side that is perfect, but the other that's very imperfect. So
Right.
if we can bring those two together and merge that together and really, I think we can. Yesterday, I was listening to a guy, okay, and it's very interesting. He said we're all on one level. I don't know if you saw that video, and it's very, very interesting. He said we're all on one level, separate entities. So we had a line with dots on it.
Right.
Each dot is a person, and those person have thoughts. So he was going with lines like this. Each
Hmm.
person. So on another level, another realm or level of existence,
Right.
your thought intersect together. You're
Uh-huh.
no more separate entities. You're now merging together. And if you go even on a higher plane, there's even more line intersecting together if you put them like this. If you put
Uh-huh.
it on a piece of paper, and if you get to the real divine state, everything is together.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes sense because once you put it on paper, you can tell. Yes, when we're on a high, divine, vibrational state like we're supposed to be, we're all one.
Yeah.
One, because all are divine, because the reason why we're all also separate, all living like little dots, is because our thoughts are very, very uh, negative and shit. So for sure, we don't have divine galactic emotion all the time because of the world living, blah, 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 the environment. But
Right.
if we bring ourselves to have really, really high level of coherency, this is where we will meet on a high level, plane level, with everything there merging. So this is also the omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresence.
Hmm.
That's where it is. Once you have that God divine thing, thoughts in you, and you're capable to access this higher realm where everything is like divine. Like I see it in my head, but
Yeah. Yes.
it's hard to explain. I'm trying to explain something here. I'm just saying that if we all bring ourselves to a high vibrational state, probably won't live so separate and so.
Yeah.
That's it. But
And it starts simply, you know,
I
and
should
that's
have
what I
drawn
pre-
it on a piece of paper. But
that's what I appreciate about like P's approach is that you just start with the simple little things, and the line is like the pathway, right? And you can walk the line, you can walk the path that divine has, you know, put here, or you can go off the path. If you go off the path, then that's when the things are going to get wonky, you know, and you're going to end up in the ditch or whatever, right? But if
yeah,
you can stay on the line of the divine path, which is, you know, really simple ultimately, but it takes work to be able to steer ourselves properly because it's you know, we're learning how to drive, we're learning how to use our consciousness, you know, and we're still waking up, you know, in this time. So we're maybe a time so we're groggy and we fall asleep or something. So that's why it's important we just keep coming back to the center, keep working on just doing the simple things that are going to help us, you know, stay on the path of well-being and
yeah.
do the necessary things. So yeah.
You see, that's what I was telling you. Once you put it like that, you see,
Uh-huh. Right.
as you go up level, all the line get together.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
this person here have thoughts that reach there to there on that level, but you go higher, it's there to there. And
Right.
you go on a higher plane, it's gonna take the whole thing.
Right.
That's what it
It's a
was
good
explaining.
diagram. I like that.
That's anyway, I go off sometime like this. But yeah, consider, that's the next one. And like it's all
Yes.
about consideration pretty much today. No?
Yes.
So I'll let
Consider.
you go with this.
Consider the most important word required for the people of this planet, the people on this planet. It should, in bold letters, replace all signs, boards, graffiti, ads. Everywhere should be C for consider in all school books, because refusal to consider fully, properly, completely before acting is the source of all ills which plague them. Consider equals concentric sides, as in looking at things from all sides and angles before taking any decision. Consider is a full circle in itself, nothing left out, especially the core issue at hand. To consider is an automatic, natural thing. It's about facts, not just thinking and lies of ego. If one is overriding it for whatever reason, one should know it will always lead to hell, pain, and torture.
OK, so considérer. Considérer le mot le plus important requis pour les gens de cette planète. Il devrait être en caractère gras. Remplacer tous les signes, les panneaux, les graffitis, les publicités partout dans tous les livres d'école devrait être C pour considérer. Car le refus de considérer pleinement, correctement, complètement avant d'agir est la source de tout mot qui les peste. Considérer égale concentric side, côté concentrique. Exemple, observer les choses de tous les côtés et de tous les angles avant de prendre toute décision. Considérer est un cercle entier en soi. Rien n'est exclu. Certainement pas le problème central en question. Considérer est une chose naturelle, automatique. C'est prendre en compte les faits, pas juste les pensées et les mensonges de l'ego. Si une personne y passe outre pour une raison ou une autre, cette personne devrait savoir que cela mènera toujours à l'enfer, la douleur et la torture. Boom!
Yes.
So for sure, if you have no consideration, like it come back to pretty much what we said before, that if you have no consideration, it's going to be pain, hell, and torture for you. And that's what we do also when we speak. We have no consideration for the words we speak. for the actions we take, for the relationships we're having, for we have a lot of consideration for the system, for everything that has to do with the system and
Yeah.
the like the phones, the TVs, the nonsense. We have consideration, but when it comes time to make sense in this world, not too many have consideration for their action, thinking before acting, thinking before speaking. My mother always said, turn your tongue 7 times before you speak, because there's a reason for it. We should,
Right.
and before we hack, we should think. Also, before we buy something, we should think, do I really need this? Like,
Yes.
do I really need this? Am I just being a consumer falling in line? Because that's what they want. They want you to consume, 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 consume.
Right.
As long as you consume, you're good. So
Mhm.
that's it. So I think that's it. They have replaced the big C by consume instead of consider.
Yeah. Right.
That's the word. That's the big C they have in their
Yeah.
dictionary. The Muggles, it's the consume instead of consider.
Yeah. Exactly.
Frank, it's on you.
I like that point that you're bringing up, the consume, right? Because if you consume without considering, you're just taking all these things in, and they're going to affect you in a way that's not
That
very
consume.
pleasant. You know,
If you
you're just taking
consume
it. You're
without
taking in everything.
consideration, yeah.
Yeah, like you have to be discerning. You have to be like, wait. I need to clean up my diet of everything that I'm taking in, not only through my mouth, like through speech, or not only through like food and diet and stuff like that, but what am I watching? What am I listening to? What am I going to like surround myself with? This is the kind of consideration that we have to implement. And the more that we can refine that, you can notice that things actually start getting more pleasant and more positive, because I mean, you just think of somebody who just, doesn't have as much of an ability to actually just have the boundary, of, because considering means that, and I think we come up to that soon, that it means that we get to say, because that is our choice every day. We get to say yes to some things, we get to say no to some things. So we have to be able to know, like, what are we going to have in our lives and what we're going to have the boundary for, and be like, that belongs somewhere else, and or does not here at all. Although, it's part of the game of the manipulators to trick you into believing that they're to really downplay the consequences that are going to come from being careless. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's just because, right? For instance, if I am telling my kids something about, some pop song with some like silly lyrics, I'm like, are you hearing what they're saying? Like, are you hearing like how they're programming people? Oh, it's just words. It's just words, That's like what the response might be, right? But
Same thing when you tell them stop eating that junk food. It's no good for you. Do you know that this
yeah,
product, this, that, and there is no good? Oh yeah, but I don't care. My
right.
daughter's like
It's
that.
I'm not sick now. Like I'm fine. So, but no, it's the little things that add up, to having bigger consequences overall.
And it's so
So
sad because we have such a marvelous piece of engineering in our hand, our body, and
yes.
we massacre it, destroy it from day one until you wake up and say
Mhm.
a deliberate no, which is the next one.
Yep. Here we are. So yes, shall we move on?
Yeah. That's why I
Let's
say
go.
that.
Yes. No. No. The second most important word for the people of this planet. After one considers, it is an automatic no to all nonsense. The only way out of the hellish matrix. Only after no to the rest can one say yes to divine.
That's it. Non, le deuxième mot le plus important pour les gens de cette planète, après qu'une personne considère c'est un non automatique à toute absurdité. Le seul moyen de sortir de cette horrible matrice, seulement après non à tout le reste, une personne peut dire oui au divin. And oui au divin, yes to the divine, of course. Like once you leave the hellish road and everything that bring hellish feeling to your life, for sure, you're gonna say it's and it's you cannot go back to like once your mind have stretched to a certain extent. You think
Yes.
I'm gonna go back to my dormant state? Like,
Right.
impossible.
Mhm.
So it's just a road to ascension, a road to you becoming a better version of yourself and treating yourself properly. Stop thinking of others so much. Think about yourself and treating your body and bringing the good food to your body that you need to have energy to, it's not always about going to get something. To get the energy, we produce it inside with the good feelings, with the good presence, that galactic stuff that we need inside us to really be enlightened and see this life as really something magic and something beautiful. And
Yes.
for sure, it's like even me, I don't think I find the right words to truly express my gratitude to just being here, just being alive, just
Mhm.
just being on this road to ascension, just having been blessed to know that stuff, to know that everything's alive. Because I don't know too much, I just know that everything's alive. That's enough for me.
Right.
I don't pretend coming here know everything and shit, and I'm on but I know everything's a lie, and I can tell you, and I can point all the freaking lies because
Yeah.
I went through the whole rabbit hole. But at one
Mhm.
point, I said, "Okay, enough, enough." Now it's
Right.
road to out the rabbit hole to ascension because it's very dark in the rabbit hole, and
Hmm.
you don't want to stay there. So you
Yeah.
go out towards the light, and now it's a permanent walk towards the light. I'm not hiding. I don't need sunglasses no more. Like I
Right.
don't need to hide from this. Like I find that so strange now. People that wear sunglasses because
Uh-huh.
I know you're afraid of the light. You can tell. Like think of it. If we have if we stop, okay, there's some people with eye issues. I'm not talking about those.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm not talking about those. Okay, there is people with cataract and stuff and sun.
Hmm.
We're not talking about this. But the people that thinks it's cool to wear sunglasses, oh yeah, very very cool. So cool with your shades and stuff. But
Uh-huh.
that's what the world wants to us to think. That it's normal, it's acceptable. It's oh yeah,
Right.
to me anyway. It's a big no to all that stuff, and that's all part of the nonsense that they have created, that we have created, and that we're okay with.
Right.
Sunglasses, lawnmower, name it, the little scooters in the street that makes more noise than I ever heard in my life.
Oh my gosh. Literally.
Uh, those are horrible.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they're roaming around, but anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna start again with the lawnmower. I did it with people, and I said what I had to say. The culture of annoyance, we know that. So
Right.
Frank, that's it. It's give me your thing on
Yes.
them.
Oh, no. Yeah.
When
No.
was for you? When was for you, Frank, the
Mhm.
the deliberate moment in your life when you said no, I have enough? Do you remember? Do you remember the enlightening moment where you discovered some, but not discovered because it's never been covered, it's always been there, but when you were aware of something major and you said, okay, no, that's enough.
I mean, I remember when I was in high school and kind of like in that like adolescence, and there was like things that I don't know if I had like a rebellious nature or whatever, But I remember seeing these little things in like a guitar magazine it would say like kill your TV or something. And it was literally after I moved from my home and I went to college. After the first year, I had never had a TV again after that because well, for one, I feel like I didn't need it anymore, or I never needed it in the first place, but it was just like I did other stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But we can tell, like, the kind of people like you, like me, like others that have a feeling. We don't know what's going on. Like, I didn't know at 18, 17 what was going
Yeah.
on, but I was listening to enough Bob Marley in my head to tell me there was something wrong in the world. But I
Uh-huh.
didn't know. I didn't research. I
It took time. Yes.
It took time. It took time for me to wake up and realize. But today I'm fully present, and yeah,
Yeah.
to me it's a definitely a no to all the nonsense and yes to everything that's divine, and
Right.
truth and reality as a big part of it.
Hmm.
And that's why you see me here. Uh, it's responsibility. I think there's enough. I lack enough responsibility in my life that at least if I can take this one, I will. Like, I'm not
Right.
responsible for a lot of the things that I use in my life, like my car, my house. I didn't build it; someone built it for me, shit like
Right.
that. But at least if I can be on the side of the reality and truth more than the lies and fiction, yeah, it's better
Right.
for my health, it's better for my mental, it's better for it's better for the world, it's everyone benefit.
Yeah.
Look, I will never say yes again to nonsense, like,
Right.
so that's why PT said once you say no, it's finish.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I mean, it's taken some time. Definitely. I have to experience a lot of things in life um, to really actually start to implement more of the boundaries that P is talking about here in this P-log about no. That no is a muscle that like we need to learn to exercise. Because the boundaries that we have for our diet, for the type of things that we're going to engage in, for all of the nonsense that we've conditioned ourselves with, we have to start to filter that out, and we have to make a conscious decision to do that because it's we're not living in a society in a time that really does have care and consideration for the individuals here, right? They care about them being slaves. They don't care about them actually like living life purposefully and in accordance with the divine laws. It actually benefits the ones who are manipulating for people to continue to hurt themselves uh, and break the laws of divine, so that they're continually weak, and then they just use them as their little puppet slaves, whatever it is, to be able to feed off of them. Because it's like a vampiric, or it's that's kind of the nature of they're just leeching off all the people,
But
you
the
know.
energy and the suck off your energy, that's what they want.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and they can only do that to you to a degree if you allow them, right?
If you let them do it, exact.
And
Yeah.
when you start having the boundaries that you need, then it basically closes up your field, and they can't do that to you anymore. But you have to continue. You have to. It's not this like a one and done. You have to continue to like make that field like strong by the decisions that you make, by the choices that you make, by saying no to the proper things, right? So it's by saying no to, because like, I mean, P was talking about, they just want you to agree. They want you to agree to your own sabotage, right? Yes, like giving me this back, or give me this whatever it is, medication that's not really gonna help me out, or give me this kind of food. Like you have to agree to it, and then you become vulnerable and manipulated, and so many things. So,
Intoxicated also. They intoxicate you with a lot of substance that put brain fog in your
yes,
brain, and then you can see clear. That's also what happened, I think, in the population. Is there's no clarity, there's no vision, there's no clarity, so you cannot see through the veil of illusion that they put in front of you to tell you, oh, it's good food, it's good for it, but it's
Right.
freaking nonsense, Frankenstein food.
Yeah, exactly. If it has all sorts, if it sounds like it came from a laboratory, then we're not like machines that are supposed to be taking in all these types of chemicals and stuff like that. That's not.
That's it. So maybe we finish with the concern today.
Concern?
Frank?
Yes.
Have to.
Let's do that.
Stuff also.
All right. Concern. Concern, a sister word for consider, and both are related to that most enormous thing in the multiverse, future. Without care, concern, and consideration for totality of one's future, one cannot have a good future. And if you can do any math, you will know future is a long, 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 billion, trillion, ad infinitum time to be in boredom, hell, pain, and torture.
Oh yeah. Concerner, un synonyme de considérer. Et les deux sont liés à cette chose énorme dans le multivers, le futur. Sans se soucier, se concerner et considérer toute la totalité du futur, un être ne peut pas avoir un bon futur. Et si vous pouvez faire des maths, vous saurez que le futur est un long, 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 milliard, trillion plus infini de moments à passer dans l'ennui, l'enfer, la douleur et la torture. And that's not what no one wished for anything, but that's the double side of coin is we don't wish that for anyone, but that's what we do. Because we have consideration for others to stay in hell. Like, if you have consideration for yourself, you will stop having consideration for others, which leads them to stay in hell. Right. And you will have consideration for you, which will lead them to get out of hell.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if I'm right, but if you start having a little bit more concern about yourself, other people will pick up the vibe and they will start having concern for themselves, and we will cure this world of all nonsense. Uh-huh. So I think it's just a matter of putting your what you're concerned about at the right place. It's just we're concerned with a lot of nonsense, but we're not concerned with what makes sense. So again, we clear all the nonsense and look what's left. What makes sense?
Right. Exactly.
So give me your opinion on concern.
Concern is it's very important. We have to have that for ourselves. And later in a epilogue down the line, he talks about love and the definition of love is care and concern for the self. You don't want to hurt yourself. You want to give yourself the things that you need for that positive feeling, for that good feeling, and because it's and so if we have that concern for ourselves, like, hey, I want good things for myself. I want to grow. I want to feel good. I want things to make sense. I don't want to be confused. I want to be able to see life clearly and for what it is, and to be able to act appropriately based on that. So, and all these things, there's so many different ways that they can kind of tie back into these pure principles and these truths. But, the action is paramount. The power of now is us being able to act and live by what is true, and we can do that. If we can do that, then that's when life is positive and grows, and it's really a magical ride, and it's beautiful. And when those synchronicities are happening and coming to you, you just are so blown away, and it's just like a beautiful life, and it's a beautiful dream, and I say that in terms of when you wake in the morning and you can reflect on maybe something that happened to you in your dreams that was really beautiful and positive. That's a really I mean, you can feel that feeling of like, wow, like it's very, I don't know, to really be able to revel in the mystery of God and divine, and how it all unfolds in our lives. It's a ongoing magical mystery, beautiful
And the
thing.
worst is we kind of pretend that the dream is not there, but we are all living in the dream of the divine. Like the
Yes,
divine had an inspiration, had an idea, a dream of creating a world full of luxurious vegetation and humans and shit and animals.
right,
And so we had a dream, a vision. Definitely, it didn't came to life like a Bing Bang. So
right.
someone had a vision. Someone had a vision. For
Yes,
sure, anything you want to create, you have to have a vision. You have to
right,
have concern, consideration, shit like that. So, yeah, no, definitely someone had a great vision, and you are in that dream of the divine. So, whether you pretend to be in a dream or not, in a daydream or night dream, or you are constantly in a dream of the divine.
right.
So, why not live the dream?
Yes, and not the nightmare.
Not the nightmare.
Get out of the
Keep
nightmare.
opposed with all kinds of nonsense TVs and all the newspaper and magazines and all the gossip and the Costco and all the
Mhm.
fucking nonsense of this world, the consumage,
Right,
consume and consume
exactly.
till you die, because that's what makes their big wheel turn. Is as long as
Hmm.
there's consumers for there will be people in hospital. There will, and ignorance will still have a cost, and
Hmm.
so if you want stop the cost of living, of course there is a cost of living. You call it a cost of living because ignorance has a cost.
That's a cost. Yes.
Frank, I'm leaving you with that, and I'll see you again next Monday.
Yes.
I'm
Good.
going to harvest more produce in the
Very
field.
nice. Yes. This is harvest time right now,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
gonna be broccoli today. I dehydrate it and all too, and it
Oh,
turns
yeah.
out very nice. Dehydrated, it stays almost intact. Like the
Wow.
floret stays intact, and I didn't
Uh-huh.
know. So I'm dehydrating a whole bunch of broccoli and stuff like that.
Very nice. Yes.
You see, I thought before I speak, I was gonna say shit like that, but I thought and I said shit
There
because
you go.
food is not shit. So I
No, yeah.
thought, I'm like, oh no, Yannick, don't say. You see, so
Yeah.
think a bit before we speak. I'm starting to do it. I'm
Yes.
starting to be a man. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's it.
Very
So
nice.
Frank, large up, bless up, and up we go. Voilà.
Yes. Yeah. Good week to everyone.